A mom whose 2 children were repeatedly raped by a family friend was shocked when she learned that the convicted rapist is up for parole. Under Los Angeles DA George Gascon's new reforms, their prosecutor won't be allowed to advocate for the pedophile to stay in prison. Tonight, the family spoke exclusively to our Bill Malugin.
The family tells me they reached out to George Gascon weeks ago, but they never heard back from him. Now, the brother and sister who were preyed on by this pedophile are coming forward with their story. And it's a disturbing one, but it has to be told. Because of the upsetting content of this story, all identities are being hidden. In the early 2000s, this brother and sister were living here in Los Angeles. Little children at the time. Children who were preyed upon by Ruben Beltran, a man who the family trusted. A man who took advantage of that trust.
That's the thing that's so scary about him, is that he can identify the person that he can hurt.
He's a master at what he did.
Today, the brother and sister are successful adults, and Beltran has spent nearly the last 17 years of his life in prison, convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing the sister when she was only 6, and also of repeatedly sexually assaulting her brother when he was only 8.
I know this is really hard to talk about. What did this guy do to you?
I mean, that was... you raped me. I mean, and the really hard part about it, I mean, now it's hard to say it, but I was a little boy and I didn't have the words.
God, I was so young. I was probably 5 or 6, and my parents had just been divorced when I was like 3 or 4, and he had moved in to quote unquote like help, repair the home, and so quickly after that had just changed and turned into a manipulative monster.
Beltran is currently serving a 15 to life sentence for aggravated sexual assault of a child with intent to commit sodomy by force or fear. A monster, as described by Constance, the mother of the victims.
The perpetrator is a serial rapist, child rapist. He doesn't have any preference for sex, age, race. He is a dangerous person.
Constance was stunned when she recently got this letter in the mail from the California Department of Corrections, notifying her that Beltran would have a parole hearing on March 11th. The shock was made even worse when the family learned under new DA George Gascon's reforms, their prosecutor won't be allowed to attend Beltran's parole hearing, and the family will be left to argue against his release all on their own.
Somehow the responsibility has become, is in our court, to protect society, and that's simply not how it's supposed to work.
And I do not feel prepared. I don't feel like, we're not attorneys, we're just a family, but now we have to take on the role of law enforcement.
3 weeks ago, Constance sent Gascon this letter, urging him to reconsider his blanket policy and asking him to consider allowing their prosecutor to attend the hearing, but she never got a response.
I feel like he should be representing us, and I don't understand his thinking.
A representative for George Gascon told me tonight they have no comment in response to this report. As for the family, they now feel abandoned by the DA's office, and they're horrified at the thought of Beltran's potential release as a 46-year-old ex-Marine.
It doesn't sound like he's the type of man who would be paroled, but he's an actor, and he's a sociopath.
I was just so scared that it took me years to actually tell the truth about what happened to me. That was fear.
And the family says they find it stunning that a district attorney would do anything to potentially benefit a convicted child rapist. And they felt it was important to go public with their very personal story to warn the community about a man they say should never see the light of day again. Reporting in West LA, Bill Malugin, Fox 11 News.